The long-awaited Axopar 38 is here, and it is an absolute cracker. So I'm going to show you as much as I possibly can and all the clever new details. My name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go and tour it. The previous Axopar 37 was a seminal boat. It was one of the best-selling models of Axopar and probably one of the best-selling boats in the world. So to get this right is absolutely critical. Now, as with the transition from the 28 to the 29, the whole boat is just that much bigger and more grown up. It's about 38 foot, 11 inches long. It weighs about a ton more, and there's just a more grown up, more substantial feeling boat. We've got a bit more freeboard. We've got a wider, more flared bow. You can see this great lip here that creates extra space inside the boat, but it also throws the water wide. We've got that same lovely rakish deep V hull, twin steps. That's what makes it both quick and efficient. We've also got lots of clever new features. I'm just going to go up here just to give you a little bit more height to show you how stylish that new wheelhouse is. Now, initially it's available as the cross cabin. There will of course be suntop variants and so on coming later, but you can see there's a lot more moldings, more curves, more features already, and of course this is one of the key ones, the new activity platform, a fold down bulwark that creates a kind of terrace by the sea. But let's get on board and take a closer look. So this is the stern view of the boat. This one is fitted with twin 350 horsepower V10s. The standard setup is twin 300s, but to be honest, I think you might need a little bit of extra power because it does weigh that much more. It's just over 5 tons with the engine, so probably the V10s will give you a bit more poke and crucially a bit more torque too. So let's start at the back. We've got a lot going on. You can see we've got this extended platform. This one is fitted with a clever new sort of composite cork decking, a little bit like foam but using more natural materials. Now, lots of different options to get stuck into straight away. This you can clearly see is the aft cabin variant. The alternative is a wet bar. I'll see if I can show you that on one of the other models. Let's have a look at this platform first. Now, to keep things simple, affordable and robust, they have gone for a manual system. It's literally just clips and this Dyneema rope. It is super strong. I can bounce up and down on here. It's absolutely fine. But they deliberately kept it simple rather than having any hydraulics that could go wrong. Now, the standard setup is for twin lockers either side. You can see this one has got a kind of lounge seat option. Normally you just get a big locker for lines and fenders, but crucially they haven't lost it entirely. This does lift up as well, so you've still got enough space under there for a couple of fenders and lines. And on the other side we've got the wet bar option. Again, as standard, this is normally just a locker, but if we look under here you can see we've got a refrigerated space in there. We've got a sink, little bin or something in there, pull-out shower, and the barbecue option. So, as ever with Axopar, there are hundreds and hundreds of options you can choose from. Now, this is the aft cabin. You have got access under here. You can pull that manually if I can find the button. There you go. That will lift up. So you can lift that up and chuck your bags in there, or of course leave it open and get a bit more ventilation. Number of key features under there. We'll take a closer look from inside too, but one thing I did want to point out is that you can see we've got more windows around here, but also little opening vents on either side. Just tiny little portholes, gives you a bit more fresh air when you are sleeping on board. Another key option visible here, and this is the opening aft window. So you can have this as electric or manual, but makes a huge difference. The old 37, it was just a fixed glass unit, but of course when you're inside and running, it's lovely to have that extra ventilation. Now here you can get a little bit more of a look at some of the different mouldings, the shapes, just a bit more voluptuous than before, and particularly on these side doors. They're a similar size and shape. They obviously slide back and forth, but that just looks a little bit sexier like that. Lovely big walk around decks, a crucial part of every Axopar design. And let's go and have a quick look inside the cabin. Now, this is where it really starts to get clever. There is so much going on here. We'll just take a quick look at that aft cabin. Of course, there is access from here too. That lifts up like that, so you can get in under there, and there you get a better idea for the scale. But you can see how lovely that would be with those little windows open. Just gives you a bit more fresh air. Lots of places to store bits, including behind even these little backrests. Flick that up, got a nice little storage area behind there, and exactly the same here. Now this is super versatile. One of the key things they've managed to do is get 3 rows of forward-facing seats, because when you're running at speed, it's much nicer facing forward. So you've got one forward-facing seat here, second forward-facing seat here, a little bit tight the legroom here, and that is literally just a clip-on cushion, but it does mean you've got a backrest, you can sit there, it gives you a third forward-facing row. Now as standard, you normally get a couple of reversible seats, just individual helm seats that spin around. This is an upgrade with the bench. You've still got plenty of flexibility here, you've got bolsters that fold up, but critically, as well as the forward-facing seat, this swings across. This table goes down. That's all available on a button here. That table flips over. That goes down. There is an infill cushion that sits on top, and then you have an extra 2-meter bed there. So you can genuinely sleep 6 people on board this boat. The key thing is this all becomes one big extra bed. Very clever use of the space. Now, a few more options going on here I want to show you. Here we've got a little bar unit. Just a space for a few glasses in there, bottles and so on under there. Yet again, another option, but of course, very nice and slim, doesn't take up too much space, and extra versatility. Whilst we're in the pilot house, I should also point out we've got a second fridge down here. We've also got storage under here and a bin. Every single space you discover something new, something different, an extra use for it. Now here, you don't get a full effect of that sunroof because we've got a couple of paddle boards, but that's the lovely thing. It is an adventure boat, so you've got roof racks for put your paddle boards and a great big sunroof overhead. I'm just going to put that backrest back so that we can take a closer look. This whole seat slides forward and back. You can see that will slide back, give you more or less legroom closer to the wheel if you want to. Very nice clear display at the helm station. We've got the option for the joystick fitted on this one. That is optional on the V10s. Simrad screens in front of us, all the usual controls. Very clear, very simple, not much you don't already know. Looks like we've got the air conditioning fitted to this one. Big sliding doors, and crucially with that aft window open, both the doors open and the sunroof, you get lots and lots of ventilation. Right, I'm going to carry on around the deck briefly first because there's another key change up here. You can see we've got the gull wing doors open. I'll talk a bit more about them in a minute. But first I wanted to show you this bow area because this is another key change. One of the problems with the old, or should I say issues with the old 37, was that with the aft cabin option you didn't then get a big outdoor seating area, and this is the solution. Again, it's an option, but you've got a full wrap of V or U-shaped seating around this table, as well as a forward-facing seat here. So you really can sit outside at anchor, enjoy a meal, sitting outside where you want to be. Quite clever, this table. You can see that the whole thing can move forward. That's just to create an easier passageway here if you want to, but it also means you can drop the table down, another infill cushion on top, and then you've got yet another sun pad up here. Of course, there is storage under all of these. They never miss a trick. Cushion comes up with it, so there's no fiddling around with poppers. Lots of useful storage. That's another one of the legs there for the table, so it'll all stow neatly away under there. Even here, the anchor locker, you can see they've used these both as cup holders, but also you can get inside, open that up, and there is the anchor locker. Honestly, they must spend thousands and thousands of hours working out how to make the very most of every single inch of the boat. Now, the gull wing doors are absolutely iconic part of the whole Axopar look. We've got a cushion wedged in there, but you'll see that they both open up symmetrically and looks really cool, but it also means you just get a lot more light and space down here. Now, you can go in either way. I'll just show you through there. We've got folding down steps on both sides, so you can go down that way. But I'm going to go in through the cabin to give you both options. Big opening hatch here, so when you're underway you can keep it down and maintain the look of that dashboard, and then step down into the cabin. And this is where there has been a huge improvement. So much more choice down here. Immediately on the left-hand side, you can see one of the key ones. This is the galley module. Now, standard, this comes just as a kind of wooden unit, and then you can spec it up from here, but it does get a small sink as standard. You can either have electric induction hob or gas on this one. You can have the option of a fridge in here. Lots of little storage lockers, all rather nice, soft close ones. And up here, this has been pre-rigged with electric, so you can use, or you can install a microwave in that space too. But given that it's an optional module, it does feel really solid and little... That is my bad. I thought that that was an extra locker. It is in fact just a blank to cover that. You know what? I am going to put that back later rather than delay you anymore. But let's carry on with that slight embarrassing moment. Big change here. This is a separate heads compartment. Always one of the complaints about the previous model is that you didn't have a full separate heads. Here you get it, and it is a proper wet room. You've got a toilet here. You've got a shower on this side. There is a seat that folds down when you want to use the shower. It's actually, the headroom is not bad in here. I can just about stand. I'm 6 foot, just about touching my head at the top, but it does mean I can very comfortably sit down and shower down here. Storage in there. Another clever little feature of the way they've done this is that this door effectively becomes a privacy seal. If somebody's sleeping up front, this door locks in that position there. There is a curtain that pulls across there. And so people who are in the aft cabin can come and use the heads, the toilet, the shower without disturbing the people sleeping up front. Open it up and we come through to the main seating area. Again, lots of clever things going on here. In order to use that gull wing door, if you want to use it as an exit, that folds down and you then get a sensible step up, so you can come up and down through there. But when you want to use it as a seating station, they all fold down. Exactly the same over on this side. I won't show you on this one. And then this is rather clever. You can see we've got a full bed unit up here. There's plenty of space. That's well over 2 meters of double bed. But when you want to use it as a seating area rather than a bed, this pulls up. Oh, just need to tuck that. There you go. And then you've got a lovely backrest, and then you've got a U shape of seating all the way around, backrest all the way around, and a really lovely place to sit inside but without feeling claustrophobic. Lots and lots of skylights. I should point out we've got skylights above here, we've got the opening doors, we've got another skylight forward. So even when everything is closed up, it actually feels like a perfectly nice, bright place to sit inside. A couple of extra things to point out. Up in the front here, you can see we've got locators for a canopy. There is a sunshade that will stretch all the way from that roof over here. So if you're using it in a hot country, you have got the option for canopy shades. And of course, these cushions that clip on here means that you've got proper backrests all the way around, or you can strip the whole thing, leave it there, and have a more pared back sports boat style boat. Just while we're here, I've spotted there is a solar panel on here, and the battery level has been doubled as well, the battery capacity. So you've got much more ability to stay at anchor without having to, well, it hasn't got a generator on this one, but just means you've got more battery power. The solar power will keep it topped up. We've also got bigger fuel tanks, an extra 100 litres of fuel. So longer range, all the same performance. I'm told that with these 350s, it's at least 45 knots plus. So plenty of performance and extra range, and obviously a lot more functionality. So to wrap up, let's just talk a little bit about the pricing and some of the performance and handling characteristics of the boat. Now, the starting price is just over 200,000 euros, but that is not really realistic. By the time you've kitted it out with all the kit you want, with the larger engines, added tax, realistically, you're looking at an on-water price of around about 400,000 euros, including VAT. Now, in terms of the build and the handling, I've had a word with Jan-Erik, the boss and one of the founders of Axopar, and he has told me that they've really focused on trying to make this as robust and comfortable as possible. They spent a lot of time. They've reinforced all the stringer systems. They've tested and checked and added yet more noise reduction facilities. So I'm told that it behaves much more like an Axopar 45. He claims it is the best handling, best riding Axopar they have ever built. Now, it is still quick. It's going to be sort of 45 to 50 knots, depending on the engines and whether they add any additional ones. With the twin 350s, it does about 3.3 litres per nautical mile. And he assures me that it is going to be one of the most robust boats. They have tested it to destruction, and he is super confident that it's going to work out of the bag. They've kept as many things as manual and simple and strong as possible to avoid any problems out at sea. So there you go. That is the new Axopar 38. I'm sure it will be joined by loads of other variants as the years go on, and probably bigger, more powerful engine options and Brabus versions and so on. But for the moment, this is the cross cabin. Do let me know what you make of it. I would love to read your comments, and thank you as always for watching.